The wind cut sharp across the white plains of winter, carrying with it the kind of silence that only comes after snow has swallowed the earth whole. And into that silence rode a lone cowboy, his horse's hooves crunching with each slow step, the figure of a man worn by dust, sun, and hardship, though today he faced the cold breath of the mountains, his rifle strapped to his saddle, eyes ever searching. For in the wild country of the frontier, a man who did not watch was a man who did not live long. He had been riding since dawn, following no map but the instincts of survival and the whispers of rumors that Apache hunting parties had been moving through the valleys nearby. And though some men in town spoke of fear, he was not one to judge people by whispers. Yet fate has a way of testing a man, and so it did that morning when his horse snorted, ears flicking at a sound ahead, a sound carried thin through the air, half howl, half cry. He dismounted slowly, hand tightening around the worn stock of his rifle, boots sinking into the crust of snow as he crept forward past a stand of pines until the clearing opened before him, and there the scene unfolded. A great boulder stood alone like a sentinel in the white, its top crowned by a snarling gray wolf, hackles bristling, teeth flashing, while two smaller figures crouched at its base, their dark hair tangled, their clothes torn hides, their eyes wide with terror. Two young Apache girls pressed against the stone as though it could swallow them from the predator above. And circling at the edge, another wolf padded low and eager, its breath steaming in the cold. The cowboy raised his rifle without thinking, muscle memory guiding him more than thought. His breath slow, his fingers steady. The report cracked across the silence like thunder, snow leaping up in the wake of the shot, and the wolf on the ground staggered, fell, and lay still. But the one on the rock turned, lips curling, eyes burning yellow, and the cowboy knew he had but moments. So he levered another round, but before he fired, the wolf leapt, springing from the rock in a blur of fur and fangs. The girls screamed, and the cowboy braced, fired again mid-air, the shot taking the beast square in the chest so that it crashed to the snow at his boots, dead before it could snap his throat. Silence followed, the kind that hovers after death, broken only by the whimper of the girls who clung to each other. Shaking, the cowboy lowered his rifle, breath clouding, and looked at them with the kind of eyes that have seen too much to be cruel. Speaking low, though he doubted they understood, "You're safe now." But safety was a strange word out here, fragile as glass, and he knew their tribe must be near, else they'd never be this far from camp. So he crouched, pointing to himself, then to his horse, trying to show he meant no harm. And though they flinched, hunger and fear outweighed mistrust, and slowly, carefully, he led them back to his camp, where a small fire still smoldered, where he shared dried meat and water, where they watched him like hawks even as they ate, their big dark eyes never leaving him. Night fell heavy, stars burning fierce above the snow, and the cowboy kept watch with rifle in lap, thinking of how the frontier was full of men who would have left them, or worse. And though he had lived most of his life alone, some things a man could not turn his back on, and in that choice, Destiny had already shifted. At dawn, as pale gold stretched across the ridges, movement stirred at the edge of camp. Figures approaching silent as ghosts, and from the trees emerged an Apache woman cloaked in furs, her face lined not by age alone, but by the weight of wisdom, her eyes sharp as flint, yet carrying something deeper. And the girls ran to her at once, clinging to her skirts, speaking quick words in their tongue, pointing back at the cowboy. And the woman listened, then lifted her gaze to him, neither thanks nor threat in her stare, but something harder to name. And she stepped forward, pulling from her pouch, not gold, not food, but a small carved talisman of bone and turquoise, etched with symbols older than the mountains themselves. Pressing it into his hand without a word, the cowboy stared, uncertain, for what was this reward? Strange and solemn, more burden than gift perhaps. But the woman spoke at last, her English rough yet clear. "You saved my daughters. Now the spirits will walk with you." And though he did not know whether to believe or fear, he felt the weight of that token, heavy as destiny, in his palm. And as she turned with her daughters back into the woods, leaving him alone in the snow once more, he understood that life had changed in ways he could not yet see. For the frontier held secrets, and some rewards were stranger than gold, and some debts ran deeper than blood. And so the cowboy saddled his horse, tucking the talisman close to his chest, glancing once more at the trail where they had vanished, then rode on into the horizon, not knowing that the choice he made to save two girls had set in motion a story larger than himself, a story of survival, of spirit, of the thin line between men and wolves, and the strange rewards that come to those who do what's right when no one else is watching. Friends, if this story gripped you, if you want more tales of courage, mystery, and the wild frontier where legends are born from snow and blood, then make sure to subscribe to this channel, because the next story might just reveal what that strange reward truly meant, and you won't want to miss it.